does show the bluff. Rania can barely look at it.
That is so sick.
Oh,
She's clicked it.
Ooh. Please hold. Please hold.
And that is the elimination of Rania Nasreddine in third place. Only the second time a female player has made the final table here in Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo, what a trip. A fun girls trip with an add-on of poker. Turned out to be my biggest cash of my career. I'm always reminding myself to be present in the moment in the hand. The goal is to have ass in seat with chips at the end of the day. So however ugly it is to get there, you know, if I'm crawling or if I'm like leaping, that is the goal of the day. So when I walk in, I remind myself, no matter what happens today, you can change your story.
Looks like Rania's gonna open this pot under the gun with king 10 off. Ooh.
And we do see a 3-bet here from Mr. Sinclair. She's just taking a look over at Sinclair's stack. 33 big blinds after.
Wow.
33 big blinds after the 3-bet, Joe. And yeah, snap call. And we're going to a flop. Queen deuce 7.
I'll say I find this ruling to be capricious and arbitrary. Queen 7 deuce.
I object.
Sinclair with the biggest of kings.
45K into 180 is quite small, so we might actually see a float regardless.
That don't look like a float. That is a raise to 100,000.
When in doubt, click it back.
Your Honor, sidebar.
I hold myself in contempt.
Sinclair doesn't fall for it. I don't know if did Rania recognize it when he came over? Did they speak? Did they have an interaction? This is not a player I would try this against, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, you know, she's in the mix. She's in there battling. This is cool. Sinclair glances at his chips just then. I think he probably does want to find a bet here at this point. So what's the line? Mr. Sinclair does check back in position, going to the river.
Another 7. Board has run out pretty well for ace-king to make a hero call. Rania is going to bluff this river for 150,000, not even half pot.
God, she looks so cool at that table, man.
Yeah.
She really is not giving anything away.
I would be freaking out if I were making this bet on this river against this player. I would be melting down. And when he flicked that chip in, that time bank card, I probably would have exposed my hand. I get so nervous when I'm bluffing that I just want to confess. I want to go, just call me.
I think that means that you're an honest person, Joe. You're somebody that doesn't like secrets between friends.
I really don't.
And so you know, it is natural to wanna be honest.
I mean, good for her for the sizing, giving him some pause.
Queens.
And
Queens.
does get the fold.
Rania, you son of a gun.
I love it. She's just out there. I'm loving it. The king 10 pre-flop, the defend pre-flop was definitely wider.
And she called his hand.
And she called his hand.
So Chung's raise flattered by Nasreddine in the big blind with 10-9, and there is a 6 and a 9 on the flop. Rania 4-1 favorite here. So she has checked to Tim Chung, who continues into a pot of 135,000. He bets 105,000. She quickly calls, taking us to the turn. That turn card is the 4 of spades. Rania Nasreddine now near enough a 9-1 favorite.
Yep, and Chung does have showdown here. Probably doesn't want to go barreling off and do a king or a 9. Might elect just to check the turn, or I imagine you're kind of turning your 6 into a bluff. I suppose there is still the opportunity to get value from hearts and from straight draws, though, so it's not completely ridiculous to have another shot here.
Fires a second barrel, 300,000. Rania going nowhere, makes the call.
Very quick call there on the turn.
Well, this pot's getting a little bit big. 945,000. Deuce on the river.
Brick City.
Okay, she checks a third time. Is Chung going to fire a third barrel here? He has got a little bit of showdown value, but maybe he thinks a 6 is no good.
I think it would be highly unusual to not try and show down a 6 here when you are beating a lot of those combo draws that I was just describing, the hearts, the straight draws, or indeed just one of them. But he's going to go for it.
Wow. He bets enough to put Rania Nasreddine all in, and she now has to decide whether to call for her tournament life with second pair, and she does!
She does it!
She doesn't even use a time bank card, pretty much snaps it off.
The absolute pace of that hand, James. Call, call, call.
Misread my hand.
Chung saying he misread his hand.
Misread your hand? Yeah, 2 jacks.
No,
King 6. 9? 9. Flush.
Thought you had king 6 of diamonds.
10 jack.
Chung saying he misread his hand.
But can't name what hand he thought he misread? I don't understand.
Rania Nasreddine, ace-5 in the big blind. Does she feel like squeezing here?
Call.
Just a call, 3-way to the flop, which is Jack 10-4.
Pretty good flop for King Queen. Decides to check back, gives everybody a free card. You know, I think with 2 overs and an open-ender, I would be c-betting that in position quite often. Now, John Wei with the gutter. What does Matal want to do? I mean, you're going to be in position. I'm very surprised to see this fold, you know, with an open-ended straight draw, just folding in position.
Yeah.
I just, with 2 overs, I feel like there's a lot of other ways you could win the hand, you know, without needing to hit your straight. And then you have Rania with the gutter of her own to the wheel here, continuing.
3, 4, 6, 7, 8. That's not a straight. He does not have a straight. Ace-high's good.
Yeah, and you know, when you show up to the river with the bottom of your range, and you know, there's some natural missed draws, right? Some flush draw from the flop, some straight draws. I mean, you would imagine that if it's checked to John Wei, he's going to have to try to bet and get Rania off of whatever holding she has.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes she's going to have some 10Xs here. You know, she's going to have some draws, which a lot of the draws beat John Wei at showdown, so you just can't reasonably expect to win this hand by checking back. You do see him reaching for chips.
250,000. We saw her make a phenomenal hero call yesterday with second pair. Can she make an ace-high hero call here, which would be right?
I don't think that it's a good thing that she blocks a lot of the draws, right? I think, you know, she blocks, you know, the flush draw. She blocks a lot of some turn straight draw, some, you know, other ace X, ace deuce suited or something that would have opened pre-flop. I think the reason why she's even thinking about it is because he checked the flop.
Yeah.
And so maybe she's wondering, you know, if there's any way that her ace high could be good, you know, if better ace highs end up. Oh,
She's made the call. Rania heroes with ace high and is right. 2 heroes in 1 tournament.
Nice, nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
that's cute.
Nice.
Predictably, Jack Sinclair will defend with the king jack off. Is dominated, but he's going to feel pretty good about a holding such as this. Not always against an under the gun range, but wow.
Just flops the flush, I mean. Nice life.
That's a lot of love out there for Rania. And making a really small continuation bet here. Well, you know, I guess actually kind of standard, about just about 30%. And yeah, Sinclair is going to be too high up in his range here with the jack of hearts. Going to be happy to make the call, try to hit a heart, but is going to have to play quite passively if that does happen. And Nasreddine should be absolutely licking her chops right now because you don't really expect your opponent to have bowed it up on a board such as Queen 3 Deuce. You really want to get more money in here, and I don't.
Oh.
I think this is an interesting check. I think I would have liked to have bet just in case my opponent does have a lower flush or a queen. You want to get value there, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes you take the other road, and it's exactly what you needed to do, because in this particular situation, Sinclair would have almost certainly folded the turn to a bet, but has now made, the third nut flush, and will probably be coming out with a value bet, and does so. And I would love to see Rania recognize that she can raise here, but it looks like, I mean, I don't want to speak for her. Queen 10 has certainly got there.
So here's my question, Griffin. If you raise here, are you ever getting called by a hand that you're actually beating?
There's only one way to find out.
Okay, well, she has raised the river, clicked it almost, 525,000.
And this is just like such a nice little milky raise. It forces a pro like Jack Sinclair to, start running the numbers and just seeing like, this is really strong. But if I'm getting this kind of price, if I think somehow she is bluffing X percentage of the time, I mean, she's representing like, what, pocket tens, pocket queens, and then the nut flush.
Wow, the raise gets paid off.
She is just can't put a foot wrong, really. I mean,
no.
Didn't find the bet on the turn with the nuts, effective nuts. Lets her opponent get there on the river, and then makes a really great raise size, I think, to get paid from the very, very talented Jack Sinclair. I mean, she is just in the zone, and she has over 100 big blinds.
Mavericksakis open pre, raised to 80,000, and Rania Nasreddine called. It went check, check on the flop.
Oh my
Rania
goodness.
check called the turn for 140,000. Ace on the river.
Yeah.
And Mavericksakis shoves. Rania calls. She's got another one.
Wow. Incredible.
Panos gets picked off.
And just narratively speaking, she gets the queen jack off in the small blind, and this time she doesn't make the mistake of folding it. Gets it in there against the dominated hand, and two pair versus two pair. I mean, she is destined to make this final table.
Lin Zhanwei, pocket tens.
Ooh.
Rania in the big blind with 5 tray suited is going to defend it. 1.1 million in the middle. Rania's going to need a lot of help to run down these tens. That's some help. That's a lot of help. Has turned it from a 20% equity shot to nearly half. Zhanwei is wasting no time firing on this flop despite the 2 overcards, despite having no spade. And Rania is raising. Not a very big one.
Really good timing here, though. Obviously putting the tens in a really tough spot. Zhanwei.
What do you... This is great.
Wow.
This is great. 3 bets to 1.8. Okay, so not making the call. Obviously. What is that? Just a call for Rania?
Oh, sorry.
You're trying to call.
I was just trying to call. Yeah. I pushed. Okay. Sorry.
That looks like more than a call, but
You see what happened?
probably not enough for a
out
raise.
and then I pushed more.
I'm not sure that's
I was trying to call.
I think it is going to be a call either way, but I think you had one less black chip out.
A funny way to do it.
Sorry, I thought this was.
Yeah.
You know her
Okay.
Her intention, right, was
Okay.
to call. But
He made what?
She called.
I was trying to call.
What do you do in that spot? Do you be adamant of what you were trying to do, or just be quiet and let them make the ruling?
probably the latter for me personally. But, you know, you just can't really control some things in the moment, and maybe. Ooh.
How in the heck Do you turn the other pair there? I mean, I think a bluff probably would have worked here. A bluff all in.
I mean, interesting that Rania doesn't just check to the aggressor and just let him do the work for her here. Once you got raised on the flop here, Maria, like, I guess they're going to have a bluff or they're actually going to have the hand, you know?
Yeah, and, you know, I think 10s aren't great in the sense that you block king 10, right? You block some of the potential straight draws that might have raised, you know, maybe 10-9. Not everyone is going to check raise those hands, but I'm just saying, you know, the initial action was bet, raise, 3-bet, call, and
Nine
so
high like a boss.
I wanted a call.
the thing is she looked very earnest on the flop, right? When she said that she looked kind of panicked, that she didn't want to put more chips in.
Right.
And then all of a sudden she shoves
hands,
on
yeah.
the turn. So, you know, that's very interesting, I think, to John Way, that somehow it feels like he doesn't know how, but the turn must have improved her.
Oh, 2.6.
It could also be an effective all-in here, Joe. Yeah, I was going to say, actually, give it some thought here. The effective all-in might actually work in his favor because, again, we see this. It doesn't happen too often, but if he can leave himself just a few bigs behind, Rania wakes up with jacks.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, so Rania has about 19 big blinds. I would be all in here if I was Rania. No messing around. You definitely do not want any action from behind. There it is. And the players to act behind are going to need to wake up with something very strong to want to tangle here, guys. Could be a ladder situation for them as well, even if they are deeper stacks, some of them. And all in a call. Kowalski going to have about 30% in this pot. Rania is sweating this moment.
A really big spot for her. Kowalski without much to lose. He's been here before. He'll be here again. Sensory overload. Trey, 4, 8, 2 diamonds.
Rania doesn't want to look, Joe.
She's not going to be able to hear a reaction either, given all that singing going on. Although she'll know it if a king hits. She doesn't have to worry about diamonds. A couple of straight cards on board that connect with that 5 occasionally. Turn is the 7. That does put a gut shot out there. Kowalski needs to hit a king or a 6 to survive. The rest of the deck belongs to Nasreddine. The river is a queen. That's a safe card for Rania. Fabiano Kowalski bubbles the official final table.
Okay, man.
And for the second consecutive EPT in a row, Rania Nasreddine has made it to a final table of the main event. That is huge.
That is huge. That is official.
Today's an emotional day. Back-to-back final tables. I told you a little bit earlier, my brother's been in the hospital for, Monday will be 3 weeks. So, you know, and that's not something, you know, it's always like kind of at the back of your mind, like I'm out here playing a game, and my brother's in the hospital, like fighting for his life, and he's in a good place, safe place. But so today is like bittersweet because like I'm getting to do something that like most of the poker world would kill for. Same time thinking about my family back home. But today is like a really fresh start for me because there was a lot of questions like, can you make another deep run? Like, how far can you go? And like that question's been addressed. So now I just like get to play. And the other thing, and I'm not, you know, I love the 5 other players I'm playing against, but I promise you, not one of them loves playing poker as much as me. Like I legitimately love playing poker. Yes, the money is good. Yes, the competition is fun, but like I actually love playing poker. I love seeing my hands. I love seeing what they get. I love seeing how they react. So I'm going to enjoy the hell out of today.
Obviously a lot going your way, a lot back home for you. Pile that all together into one. What would that mean for you to win here today and hold that trophy and take it home?
It's a big question. If I were to get the trophy, it would not be for me, it would be for my brother. And so we'll just see what happens today. Sorry.
Understandably, a difficult time for Rania with what her brother's going through right now, and obviously we wish him the very best. What I love best about her is her honesty. She says, I'm not that good. I'm out kicking my coverage, as we say in America. In some ways, downplaying her skills at the table, Maria.
I mean, not this coverage.
Yeah, I mean, Rania's been around for a while, right? I mean, I remember playing with her, against her, you know, for many years. And so to finally see her, you know, string some of these deep runs, I think is just the validation that she needs for the time that she's put in, for her love of the game, which is very evident.
Sean Wei is going to jam under the gun. Jack 10 suited. That's a fun one. Was going to be facing the big blind the next hand. I'll allow it.
Can I get a count?
She win, give.
Now he's laughing again. I love him.
That's a gift. That's a gift.
A call.
Rania does make the call.
Does have the best hand.
Small blind out.
Should have an ace.
Big blind out as well.
Bad.
Very loud.
That's going to be better than she's expecting, it sounds like.
Yeah, very live indeed.
She wants that
It's a
line.
big portion of Rania's stack. This will take her down to 17 if she doesn't hold. This is a flip, though, guys. Look at the percentages.
All right, with the stack.
Potentially a 55,000 euro flip.
Yeah.
Let's see if Run Good Rania can hold. It's a 6 and a king and a 10. You think he likes it?
I think he likes that 10, Joe.
I think he likes the 10.
Supposed to say nice hand now.
You want to win the pot? You should.
Nice hand.
顶住，我们 Chinese said 顶住。
Fantastic.
3 odds.
Turn
Okay.
is a jack.
More odds. Walk. More odds. Okay.
4 outs for Rania.
Equity went up, down.
Otherwise, Jean Wei survives
Anyway,
and
okay.
doubles up. This dude is a boss.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
The river.
Oh, no! No! He slaps his hand down on the flop.
Rania spikes the gut shot.
She's gone.
Sean Wei splashes the entire board. I have never seen that in more than a decade on the EPT.
You guys called for the king.
And typically I'd call poor form, but man, was that fun.
So Rania Nasreddine has opened with 10s. Ace, 3 of hearts for Kuzmanovic.
Kuzmanovic has been playing, you know, pretty straightforward. Hasn't, you know, seen him get too out of line over the few days that we've watched him play at the feature.
Looks like she is a little snake bit.
Just calls the 3-bet. And these two players will go to a flop. Ace, Queen, 6, all spades.
Run good, Rania.
Pretty interesting flop, you know, and Rania calling the 3-bet pre, of course, is going to be a little concerning for Kuzmanovic. You know, might she have a better ace-x here that she calls with? You know, not having any spades, not having a redraw to the flush, you know, is also potentially problematic.
Aggressive check from Rania. Bobo?
750.
Coco.
750K into a pot of 3.75 million. Rania calling.
And now, you know, as you know, Kuzmanovic, you can't really go 3 streets of value with this hand and expect to get called by worse. So, you know, some turns he'll just naturally slow down, you know, try to get to showdown. You know, if you think she's going to have some queen X's here, which she might, right? Like king, queen suited and queen jack suited, those type of hands that might raise and call a 3-bet pre.
She's checked to Kuzmanovic.
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
Here we were thinking she might make the flush. Instead, she spikes a 10 on the river to make a full house.
Okay, so yesterday I was saying we call her Run Good Rania because of the Run Good Poker Tour, but no, it's actually Run Good Rania.
I love the fact that the drama of the hand was interrupted by someone slurping. We got crinkly sweets, soft drinks. It's all happening at this final table.
It's because this is prime entertainment.
Any chance this gets paid off?
It's a pretty bad run out for ace-3, you know, again, just trips possible, flushes possible. You don't really think a better ace-x that doesn't shove pre off of her stack is necessarily going to be in her range, you know, or maybe even betting this river very often. But, you know, your kicker doesn't even play with ace-3 here.
Time bank, so we could be here a while, guys.
I think the more she talks, the more I'd be willing to fold my hand as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, this is such a high pressure situation.
Yeah.
And for her to just talk and, you know, comment on the fact that it feels like, you know, each time bank feels so much longer than it actually is, could sometimes, you know, be a tell, could be something that Kuzmanovic is going to read into here. And again, you know, if she had ace-king, she probably would have just shoved, you know, even ace-queen, but he does call.
Gets paid.
Wow, value bet paid off, and he's like, oh, come on. How do you spike a 10 on the river again? You did it to Jack Sinclair, you've done it to me, and Rania Nasreddine has just jumped up to 2nd place on the leaderboard. And Rania's all in with ace-3 from the small blind. And look at this, Andrew Humes woken up with ace-8 in the big blind.
I think Andrew will just take his time and call here. See, unfortunate for Nasreddine that someone else has an ace. There's lots of interesting dynamics at play here. So the pot is essentially dead, and now there's something on the side to be contested, and bingo, bango.
No. So she's going to feel this is a good board for her, but Hume has flopped 2 pair, and Rania is drawing super thin.
Yeah, and Stephen going to need to beat Rania at showdown, and for that reason, we'll just check. A 10 is what's required, I believe, here.
Yeah, she's drawing to a chop.
For Nasreddine. I mean, I will love this chop pot. If it comes in, I will really love it. Hume deciding whether to protect and will bet out.
And so with Stephen Song out of the way, the cards go on their backs, and Rania will see that she is drawing very thin, drawing dead to an outright win,
Okay,
drawing to a chop.
Let's see a 10 here. I think everyone except for Andrew, maybe everyone except for the players at the table, hoping. She's reaching for the microphone. Feels like it's done. Let's see a 10 of clubs on the river.
The river card is a king, and that will end Rania Nasreddine's 2nd consecutive deep run in an EPT main event. She came 3rd in Monte-Carlo this year, 4th here in Barcelona for a bigger score. She got 442 grand in Monte Carlo. She just banks 518,600 euros for her 4th place finish here in Barcelona. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe for more awesome poker content. And check out this video. The YouTube algorithm seems confident you'll like it.